We get that question a lot in our mentorship, right? People are going through a situation and they're, talking about, oh, I'm going through this, but now my anxiety is worse, right? Because we're caught up on the fact that, our anxiety is getting worse. I think that's the main focus here, right? I'm going through these stressful situations and now my anxiety is worse. Oh no, what do I do? How do I get rid of the situation? Right? And that's the complete opposite way of handling it because you're not going to recover in a bubble, right? There's going to be situations that are stressful in your life. People with anxiety, people without anxiety, right? You have situations like that. And going through stressful times as actually like, people get caught up because they go, no, this is going to set me back. But it's not, right? The only setting you back is your response to it. And
Yeah.
when people go through tough times in their recovery and they are able to respond correctly and get through these tough times, they actually do better because they're learning how to respond in different situations despite the circumstances, right? This is why I always say like in my calls, like I always say it, and people are sick of me saying it, but self-compassion, right? Like stress is a part of life. We have stress. Instead of going, oh no, I'm having this stress, my anxiety is getting worse, you need to go, oh yeah, I'm going through this stress. This sucks. My anxiety will get higher, but I've got to keep going, right? So do you see the difference in response there, right? Same situation, but how your mindset is towards it, and how you talk to yourself, and how your self-compassion piece of it, that makes a difference in how you respond, right? So going back to the response and the mindset that I always preach in these calls are so important. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, it's still avoidance. It's like, oh, I'm feeling the anxiety. It's going to throw me back. When did anybody say recovery is the absence of anxiety? It's not. You see, that's what so many people don't get. Recovery, you're experiencing just as much anxiety as everybody else, as anyone who's struggling. You're experiencing anxiety, though, is a means to an end, though. For most people that are just stuck in the cycle, they're just experiencing anxiety and they're going to keep experiencing it. And you have to recognize you experiencing the anxiety. You have to experience it to overcome it. Claire Weeks always says recovery lies behind what you fear the most. So fear it. I mean, fear it. Feel it. Don't fear it. So feel it. And that's it. But don't be like, oh, I'm feeling it, so I'm going back. Don't do that. Because that's still avoidance. And what are you doing? You're making yourself sound so fragile. And then you're like, Shaan, my confidence is gone. It's like, no, confidence comes from putting yourself in these situations. You need to build your resiliency.
Yeah. And learn how to respond well despite your circumstances. Because, spoiler alert, there's going to be times in life where stuff is stressful, stuff sucks, right? No one has a life completely absent of stress unless you live in a bubble. Like you're living.
That's not living. That's not a real life.
Right?
That's not a life. You understand, right? Like anxiety, like even if you had happiness throughout your whole life, you'd still be miserable. You need to have these ups and downs to know when things are good. People don't want to feel happy all the time. Why do you think people go to roller coasters? Why do you think people watch scary movies during Halloween? They want to feel it. They want to feel an array of emotions. But in order to feel the array of emotions, you have to feel it. But if you're running away every time you feel a certain emotion, then that emotion dictates your whole life. All right, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. This video was just a snippet of what we really do in the mentorship. In the mentorship, we go way more in depth. We're really guiding people step by step. And so if you're really interested in being part of this community, being part of this journey where people who have been there are guiding you step by step, well, if you're interested in the mentorship, I'd highly recommend before you even apply, check out some of the success stories. See how are people recovering in the journey? What are some of their ups and downs? What were some of their biggest symptoms? This way it normalizes what you're going through because it's really easy to feel like you're the only person going through this, right? So I'll put it down in the comment section down below. Definitely check it out. See which stories resonate with you. And if the mentorship is something you want to do, I'd highly challenge you to apply after. With that said, I'll see you in the next video.